Rightio. What do we given? What's A?
20.
And there's two sequences, sequence small and sequence big, and they both start at 20. And by term 5?
By term 5, the smaller sequence, well, the larger sequence is 120 more than the small sequence.
And 3 times bigger. Do we know how big the small sequence is? No. So I'm just going to say, well, I don't really know what it is, so let's just call it term 5. So what's 120 bigger than term 5?
Term 5.
And what else is this one? 3 times term 5. They're both arithmetic, so we're adding something. What do we add? D. Hey, but they're different sequences, aren't they? So if this is a bigger number, then the D is going to be different. So when we're going over, I'm going to call it big D, because it's a big sequence. And then let's just get some equations. What equation can we get from that? What's A? 20. So I'm going to go term 5. Term 5 is A plus n minus 1. What's n? 5. So 5 minus 1? 4. And that's a lowercase d. So even though I don't know what term 5 is, it's still a valid equation. Okay. This one here, that is actually term 5 for the big sequence. So I'm going to write term 5 plus 120 is 20 plus, what am I going to write? 4 times big D, because it's the different sequence. And I also know that this term is going to be 3 term 5, so I've got 3 term 5. Remember, this term 5 is the term 5 in a smaller sequence. Yeah, so when we get an answer T5, that's going to be this number here. Equals 20 plus 4D. I've got 1, 2, 3 unknowns, 3 equations, has to be solvable. How do you want to solve that? Do the bottom 2, because look at that. Way to go. Do we want to subtract up or down? So let's just, I'm just going to move that over here. So it's in a column. So 3 minus 2. 3 term 5 minus term 5 is? 2 term 5. 0 minus 120.
Plus 100. Or minus.
And then they all just go to 0. So when I get that 120 over there and divide it by 2, you get 60. So that is the number 60. If I know that's 60, subtract 20, divide by 4, D is 10. And if I come down here, I know that's 60, so together that's, it's a bit messy, but anyway, equals 20 plus 4 big D, subtract 20, divide by 4. So all of a sudden we've got a term n equals 20 plus n minus 1, 10. That's your small. And the big one, term n equals 20 plus 40. What does the question say about evaluating the reasonableness? Let's just go here. What is lowercase d? 10. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what's my next term? 30, 40, 50, 60, which is good because that's what we have over here. So that's my small sequence. And what am I adding again? 40. 60. So there's my term 5. Is this thing 120 bigger than that? Yes. And is it 3 times that? So you just want to state the thing. So the biggest thing that kids do wrong is they have the same D here. You've got to recognise that they're different Ds and then everything just sort of comes out. Sweet. Good.